What is the difference? Why can't you just call yourself a nutritionist? Why can't I just see a nutritionist? What is a nutritionist? What is a dietitian? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am back and I'm going to be talking about the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist. It's something that comes up a lot in conversations when I talk to people, and they're always wondering, like, what is the difference? Why can't you just call yourself a nutritionist? Why can't I just see a nutritionist? What is a nutritionist? What is a dietitian? So today we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the ins and the outs, and we're going to figure it out together. So stay tuned. So to begin, a nutritionist is someone that's kind of self-proclaimed, for lack of a better word. They don't have to go through any schooling. They can kind of just call themselves a nutritionist, and that's about it. Whereas a registered dietitian actually has to go to school for it. In Canada right now, they have to get a bachelor's degree, and then they have to go through some sort of additional schooling. They have to do a practical training aspect, so an internship after their undergraduate degree. However, in some places in Canada, that is actually built into the degree. So they do the 4 years, and it might be 5 years actually, I'm not too sure, but it would actually be built in. So for me, I did 4 years, but then I had to apply and get accepted to do the internship. So not everyone who did the same degree that I did got accepted into the internship. Whereas other places, as I said, it's kind of built into their degree. So I guess it's harder to get accepted to their program. I don't really know. I haven't done it. I just know the traditional route of doing the undergrad degree, and then they get accepted to do a post-degree internship. And with the internship, you do a bunch of rotations. So you get placed in like food service, community nutrition, long-term care, as well as clinical, community-based. Like you have a bunch of placements, and it's just kind of getting exposure and experience in those different settings as a dietitian, so that when you are done your internship and you're actually a registered dietitian, you kind of know what you're doing. There's a bunch of things that you actually have to do in each placement. Like there's certain tasks that you have to do, and like a certain level of ranking that you have to get in order to successfully pass each placement. So that's what I did. It was 1 year long, and that's what you need to do in order to be eligible to call yourself a registered dietitian. However, it doesn't end there for the schooling. So after you do the 4 years or the integrated program, you do the internship, and then after you do that, you have to write a national exam, which is called the Canadian Dietetic Registration Exam. And with that exam, if you pass, you successfully get your license to be a dietitian. However, the exam is only offered twice a year, so that's kind of a long time for you to wait if you've already graduated and the exam is not for another couple of months. So a good thing about that is that they can actually give us a temporary license. You can pay to get that, and you can work with that in the meantime until it comes time for your exam. So once you pass the exam, you are kind of officially done with exams for now. It doesn't end. You have to make sure that you're staying on top of things and that you're staying like up to date. So it's not just like, okay, you have your license, see ya later. No, it doesn't end. But it's an exciting first step, and you're done the majority of the work to be a dietitian. Another reason why working with a dietitian is so important versus working with someone who's a nutritionist is not just because of their educational background. Like someone could be a nutritionist, but they could be very knowledgeable and very aware of what it is that they are preaching. However, it's also important to know that as a registered dietitian, they're the only regulated health professional that can educate and counsel about nutrition. So that means that they're held liable by a college. We are registered under a college, so pretty much everything that I say I'm kind of held liable for. I can't just spit out anything. It has to be credible, evidence-based information, and it protects myself, and it also protects the clients and the public that I'm speaking with. In contrast, however, a nutritionist is not legally registered anywhere. However, some places they can have a designation as like a public health nutritionist. It really depends. It depends. If someone works in a community health center or some sort of public health agency and they are a public health nutritionist, that is different. Like, it's a very broad spectrum of who can call themselves a nutritionist or who cannot. So it really depends. Look for credentials when you're seeking out nutrition advice. Look for where they're getting their information from. If they're claiming that something is going to help you lose weight and target tummy area, and regardless of who's saying it, it ain't right. Nothing is going to help you do that. So just be critical. Be critical of where you're hearing this information. Think of who's providing it. But yeah, seek the advice of a registered dietitian. They know what they're talking about. They can guide you in the right direction. And it's just a safer alternative for you. And because dietitians are required to keep continuing education and keep staying up to date and refreshed on new things, that means that we're pretty much the experts in nutrition. We know what's going on, and we don't provide you with any of those fads or gimmicks that are always coming around, because there's a lot of them and it can get really overwhelming. As a disclaimer, this video is not to bash on nutritionists. As I said before, they are really knowledgeable in some aspects, and I'm sure that there's a lot that we can learn from each other. However, it's also important that you're seeking nutritional information and advice from a regulated health professional, such as a registered dietitian. Get your information from a source that's credible and something that won't provide you with any harm. As a registered dietitian, it's my due diligence to provide information that's credible to the general public, without any of the fads or the gimmicks that are always being promoted all the time. If you have any other questions about registered dietitians or the path to become one, or if you would like some more details, I would love to chat with you. Leave me a comment down below and I will be sure to get back to you. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye!